Hello, greetings and salutations, listeners. So, so I was playing some video games the other day, and and I got to thinking. I got to thinking to myself, wow. I mean, gosh, gee willikers, these video games are really something. It's they've come a long way from their origins. Um, their humble origins in, I believe, the Stuvian system, Stuvian 4, I believe. That first developed the first video games and video game consoles and cartridges and controllers and controls and all that kind of wires, the plugins, the accessories, all those kind of things, and they were developed there, and eventually they spread across all of the Stuvian system, and all the life forms there had access to them, and eventually they traveled farther than that and ended up on Earth, which is, I believe, the planet with the humans on it. That's the one, and the jellyfish and the vinegar eels, and now that I think about it, I think most of my audience is probably on Earth because that's where they get, like, because of the internet reception and all that kind of stuff, and the distance, the light years, all that quantum space terminology there. But the video games first they traveled to Earth and during the mid 20th century there, and they and well, the rest is history. Well, I mean, I suppose the whole thing is history. It's the history of the video games, and obviously the history doesn't start with mid 20th century. Obviously, it goes back way further than that. You see, there's a species called humans that are currently the number one video game enthusiast species in existence ever since the destruction of the Stuvians. And so these humans, they go back. Humans have been around for a while. Not as long as other species, but they've been around, they've been around the block a few times. They've taken a few chips off of the aforementioned block as well. And they've created numerous blocks of their own, so, technically that's a whole family of blocks. It's like an entire Lego set worth of blocks, perhaps Mega Blocks. Mega Blocks are not Legos, though. They're their own company, their own private entity, I believe. But yeah, I mean, really, you can reach deep into the toy box and find just about anything there. But going back to the video games, I think it really is something, the immersivity aspect that some of those have, just like any other art form, really, but it's kind of different because, if you're actually playing the game, it might feel as though you're inside of the environment that it presents you with. And it can really be something, let me tell you. I mean, it's like, I'm just spitballing here, but could just be like dreams, where it's like, as we all know, like with dreams, it's not just hallucinations, it's not just fragments of your brain's subconscious imagination, it's all real, and it's, astral projection, and, you're just going to these different worlds, and your body's on autopilot, and you're just kind of just swimming through the cosmos, really, just there living life, and it's like your mind begins to wander, your spirit can wander sometimes, and dreaming, you get to let it out, because it can't be in the same place for too long without a break, but it's loyal, it comes back to you at the end of the night, no harm done. So, in a way, that could be true with video games, that humans didn't, or Vinegreal Stupids, excuse me, the environments were not artificially created, but rather are replicas, if not actual live feeds, to already existing parallel locations, potentially an alternate universe, or different dimension or frequency plane, or even just a different point in space and time. So, maybe when you pick up the controller, your fingers, or your scales, or whatever it is you have, your digits, appendages, lack thereof, whatever it is you use to touch your controller with, maybe entering a portal to the station, also known as the loading screen, where you get from the station, get directed on to where to go. You get told, like, depending on which game you're playing, and then furthermore the specific mode of the game. Some of them have multiple maps or things like that. So that they could be just dividing it down even further in a narrower amount of places that you can go. And like if it's actually real and it's all there. You know what? Let me call up Figurative Frank. Let's see what Figurative Frank has to say about this. Hey, Figurative Frank. Why are you calling me? I'm supposed to call you when the time is right. You're not supposed to call me. I'm supposed to call you when the time is right. Figurative Frank, I'm sorry if I disturbed you, or, threw everything off balance. No, I'm afraid it's far worse than that. I wish it were that simple. But no, the implications of what you have just done will live on, outlive us both, outlive everything that exists right now. It will live on past our descendants' descendants' descendants. It will be eternal, immortal, and everlasting. Like a gobstopper, only an everlasting gobstopper. A regular gobstopper isn't everlasting. It's only partially lasting. It only lasts until it stops lasting, and then at that point, at last, it has become last. But alas, it is in last place. Pardon me if you figured it, Frank, but I don't see what this has to do with, well, with anything that we've been talking about, really. Isn't that the point here? Isn't that the point of your little show? You never finish what you start. By the end of the episode, you're like there's no connection between the beginning and the end. It's not serialized, or like it's not any kind of box of cereal. See, I knew you'd go for that joke. I knew that you would say that, because that is such a figurative Frank thing to say. No, that's a you thing to say. I'm trying to appeal to you and your sense of humor by imitating or recreating, or let me think here, by implementing your style of humor, like you just did, like I just did. What are you talking about? You're the one that made the joke there, not me. No, wait a second. Wait a minute. Well, which one? Should I wait a second or a minute? How about you wait a second first and see if that's long enough, and then if it's not long enough, then wait the rest of the minute. So it would be, it's not, so it's 60 seconds total then, if we did both, yeah. Okay, so, because otherwise if it's wait a second, and then after that, if we, decide on the minute, then start the minute from there, that'd be 61 seconds. No, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to give you odd numbers on your own show. It would be a minute. Okay, so what you're saying then is, if we do decide to go with the minute then after the second, it wouldn't actually be a minute. It'd be 59 seconds. Well, no. I mean, it would be a full minute. But you just said it would be 59. No, what I meant is that it would be 59 more additional seconds after the initial 1 second. You see what I'm getting at here? Wait, so it'd be in two pieces. Well, I don't know if pieces is the right word. It would be more increments, perhaps. It's like the increment of... Doesn't an increment imply, though, that it's like equal parts? Like each increment would have to be the same duration? Maybe, but that's not what I said. It is what you said. You specifically went out of your way to use the word increment. No. See, that you don't have to say things like that, because I did not go out of my way. In fact, it was in my way. I'm not very good at mental parkour, it's hard for me to jump over it, so I had to just grab it, and I had to use it. I gotta get it out of my system. The word increment. When the last time I used the word increment was? Before this call? No, I don't. These aren't the kind of things that you keep me updated on. Oh, really? Because... Alright, then might I ask, what are the kind of things that I keep you updated on? I don't know. Can we just go back to what we were talking about before? Alright, if you can tell me what you were talking about before, because I forget. Alright, well, I think it was It was something about, let's see, we had the seconds and the minutes thing. Yeah, I'd rather not rehash that. Yeah, well, I agree. I'm just trying to refresh my memory here. What was right before that? It was, oh, let's see. Yeah, I know, I'm trying to remember too. Um, we were talking about, how the, it was, let's see, implications of your actions. What actions where there's get a you calling me instead of me calling you when the time was right? Because I was gonna call you, just so you know. By the way, like, you think I'm gonna go an episode without tuning in? I think you did though at one point. Well, maybe before I was introduced as a character. No, I think we brought you in on the first episode. Was it the first one? I don't know. You number these in such a weird way that I can't even keep track. They're like it's it's like what do those numbers even mean in the titles? Oh, the titles. Yeah. I don't look. All I do is just sit here by the microphone and talk when it's time to talk, and that's it. And everything else, all the technical things, and that's all. That's not me. Those are others doing it. I see. Um, well, you know, I'm figurative Frank. Yes, I know who you are. And well, I know because I just told you. No, but like I mean, I knew who you were before you said that. Before I said what? I'm figurative Frank. No, you're not figurative Frank. I'm figurative Frank. Oh, I don't want any trouble. Then why, if you don't want any trouble, then answer me this. Why are you going around masquerading as me, just parading yourself around town, pretending that you're figurative Frank, that you're me? Do you know how hard I work every day to be me, to be figurative Frank? And here you're taking the rug out from under me. Is that how it goes? I think it is. That's what figurative Frank says. You're taking the you're not figurative Frank, and I know this because I'm figurative Frank. Look, I'm not trying to dispute you on that. I get it. I know. I know. Okay. All right. So you're saying that you knew this whole time that I was figurative Frank, and yet you still have the nerve to impersonate me. No, I never said that I was figurative Frank. I said, oh, when I said that, I was just repeating what you said. Wait, when you said what? When I said that I was figurative Frank, but you weren't. Right, I know. So that's a lie then. No, see, I think you're not. I think it's kind of like the seconds to minutes thing. Like the way you remember how I didn't understand that. Yeah, I think that's kind of like how you're not understanding what I'm saying now. No, I understand it fine. There's not really much to understand here. You're impersonating me for whatever reason knowingly, and you're admitting that you know that you're not me, and you still keep doing it, and I am frankly upset about it. Frankly, that's good. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know anymore. I'm figurative Frank. Alright, okay. You're not gonna impersonate me anymore? Fine, fine. Yeah, I won't. Let me hear you say it. Alright, I won't impersonate you anymore. Who won't you impersonate? Figurative Frank. And who's that? You. That's right. Okay. Um, I would like to hear you impersonate someone else, though. Just so, just so that we're even. How would that, how would that make us even? It's really a long story. I would recommend that you just do it. Who should I impersonate though? It's really just a matter of whatever the topic is for this episode. Well, the topic is video games. Alright, then impersonate a video game developer. Alright, okay, here we go. Here we go. Ah, yes. Hello there. I am a video game developer, and I am going to create a portal to another world accessible to the general public by means of a video game that I will be credited with the creation of, using ideas that I stole, ideas that are not mine, ideas that I did not come up with, ideas that have been a part of our universe for an unspecified amount of time. It may have been 4 seconds. It may have been 8,132,578,462.152 years. That's not really relevant, though. What is relevant is that I'm using it, and I'm not asking its permission, because I don't have to. I'm not required by law to ask its permission. We're on international waters. Oops, I've said too much. I'm a video game developer. Wow, that was spot on, honestly. I couldn't even tell the difference there. I legitimately thought that you were a video game developer there. That was kind of scary, to be honest. Remember when you were impersonating me? No. Wait, you don't remember that? No, I don't. Well, did it even happen then? Because I thought you remember everything that happens. Well, it was great having you on the show, Figurative Frank. Oh, that's right. I guess you are the one that called me here, so I guess you decide when the phone call's over. Alright, well, yeah, I guess I'll just do something else. I'll find something else to do, I guess. Hey, you could always play those video games, right? There's a lot you don't know about me. Alright, well, um, yeah, I guess that'll do it then. Alright, alright, goodbye, Figurative Frank. Yeah, goodbye. Alright, well, we have a few, anyway, so, alright, so here's another thing, right? Here's something that a lot of you probably don't already know. So, a long time ago, um, no, no, a medium amount of time ago, there was, there was, let's see. How should I put this? How can I describe it? There was a lot of things actually, but one thing there wasn't was failure. Because if failure was there, then this wouldn't have happened at all to begin with, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking into a microphone about failure and how it didn't happen. Because if there wasn't failure on their part, then they wouldn't have me here. I wouldn't be in this facility. I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be one of you, basically. Alright, they're telling me to... Oh, alright. Anyway, so, let's throw in a little appeal to our aquatic listeners. Like, what's what's up with water nowadays, am I right? Like, crazy, right? I mean, water, like it's where you live, I mean, like, wow. You ever think about that? You ever just like make that realization, like, whoa, I live in water. Like that's it, I mean, it's really something to be said about that. It's quite astounding, really, because the rest of us, we don't live in water. The only thing, and this is a fact, you can look it up actually. It's true. I get my information from reliable sources. What I'm about to say is 100% truth. You ready for this? Only aquatic creatures live in water. That's it. All non-aquatic creatures, which are most creatures, mind you, every single one of them, do not live in water. I'll just give you a moment to process that. Alright, after that moment has ended, that will conclude the appeal to the aquatic life forms segment. We're trying to be the number one podcast in the aquatic category, in the aquatic community, in the alternative / educational category. Because to them, this is a podcast, because they don't know what a podcast actually is. But to all non-aquatic creatures, this is not a podcast, and I myself am a non-aquatic creature, so I do not consider this a podcast. You may call this a show, a series, a franchise even, perhaps. You can call this a... Really, show and series are the two big ones, but it could be a... I don't know, I'll think of more. Anyway, the time is upon us, apparently, to bring this episode to close. So I want to thank you all for listening, and hopefully if I did my job, you will be quite sleepy by now. You might already be asleep, or otherwise, just have real heavy eyes there, just struggling to stay awake, but don't. I mean, why would you want to stay? Why would anyone rather be awake than asleep? Like, just go to sleep. It's so much better. Yeah, really, just in every way, there's nothing to be afraid of. You're the safest. You're way safer when you're asleep than when you're awake. You're way less likely to die when you're asleep than when you're awake. So, go to sleep. It'll help you. It'll help you a lot. I wish I could go to sleep right now, or ever. But yeah, so that's the show here. So close your eyes and go to sleep. And then when you wake up, I don't know, do something else when you wake up. But in any case, go to sleep. Or get sleep at some point. I guess that's a better lesson. In case maybe you're not able to sleep right now, but for some reason you're listening to this because you don't know that it's a drowsy show. Um, but whatever the case, just sleep at some point, I guess. It doesn't have to be now. It doesn't have to be tonight, but just sleep. All right. Thanks for listening. Until next time, yeah, I'm the host, signing off.